What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Flames back at it again. Another Bible reading video. Today, about to be reading out of Deuteronomy chapter 16. Without further ado, let's get right to it, man. Passover. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Abib the Lord your God brought you out of Egypt by night, and you shall offer the Passover sacrifice to the Lord your God from the flock or the herd, at the place that the Lord will choose, to make his name dwell there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat it with unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in haste, that all the days of your life you may remember the day when you came out of the land of Egypt. No leaven shall be seen with you in all your territory for 7 days, nor shall any of the flesh that you sacrifice on the evening of the first day remain all night until morning. You may not offer the Passover sacrifices within any of your towns that the Lord your God has given you, but at the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name dwell in it. There you shall offer the Passover sacrifice. In the evening at sunset, at the time you came out of Egypt, and you shall cook it and eat it at the place that the Lord your God will choose. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. For 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. The Feast of Weeks. You shall count 7 weeks. Begin to count the 7 weeks from the time the sickle is first put to the standing grain. Then you shall keep the Feast of Weeks to the Lord your God with the tribute of a freewill offering from your hand, which you shall give to the Lord your God blesses you, or which you shall give as the Lord your God blesses you. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, the Levite who is within your towns, the sojourner, that's the fatherless, and the widow. I'm so sorry, guys. 1 second, I lost my spot. Who are among you at the place that the Lord your God will choose, to make his name dwell there. You shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these statutes. The Feast of Booths. You shall keep the Feast of the Booths 7 days, when you have gathered in the produce from your threshing floor and your winepress. You shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, the Levite, the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow who are within your towns. For 7 days you shall keep the feast of the Lord your God at the place that the Lord will choose, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, so that you will be altogether joyful. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God at the place that he will choose, at the feast of unleavened bread, in the feast of weeks, and at the feast of booths. They shall not appear before the Lord empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God that he has given you. Justice. You shall appoint judges and officers in all your towns that the Lord your God has given you according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people. They shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality, and you shall not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and subverts the cause of the righteous. Justice and only justice you shall follow, that you may live and inherit the land that the Lord your God has given you. Forbidden forms of worship. You shall not plant any tree with the Asherah beside the altar of the Lord your God that you shall make, and you shall not set up a pillar which the Lord your God hates. Okay, that is the end of this chapter. It goes more on into this kind of blurb of forbidden forms of worship, but we will get to that tomorrow. I really appreciate y'all for watching, and maybe I kind of want to start Would it be crazy for me to start making 3 videos a day? I don't know. Um, it's definitely doable. Especially like, it's not impossible, obviously. I believe the next book after this, I actually watched a video on this next book that we're about to get into. It's called the book of, I think the next book is Joshua, right? If I'm not mistaken. If you'll let me, my, yeah, I believe the next book that we're going to be reading after Deuteronomy, which, I mean, we're not even halfway through Deuteronomy yet, is Joshua. And they talk about some very interesting stuff in the book of Joshua. Um, I'm very excited to get to that book. I kind of want to hurry up and get there, if I'm going to be honest. The book of Joshua is really cool. Talk about basically Israel's invasion into the land of Canaan against the Nephilim descendants, who were the giants that were living in the land, and the miracles that God performed in order to allow Israel to prosper in this new land. Very, 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 very crazy, crazy stuff that I'm very excited to read. And it's honestly, and then the book of Judges, I don't really know what happens in the book of Judges. And the book of Ruth, like, we're going to start really getting into these other books. And Ruth is like only a couple of chapters, right? Yeah, Ruth is literally 4 chapters. Crazy. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to, start getting into, I forget what it's called. It's called after the Torah, it's like the Babylonian something. Don't remember, but I'm excited to get into some of these other books and to start learning more about this history, this extremely well documented history that is the Bible. It's also, obviously God's word, good news. But yeah, um, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. I love y'all so much. Peace.